Hey there, you're listening to Switch On, a podcast to shape the principles of modern leadership. I'm Helena Mach, and I'll be discussing real experience with successful leaders. Learn from them. How are they dealing with the challenges of today? And how are they building on their learnings for tomorrow's success? In this series, we will focus on leadership principles, where you can find yourself in a situation when you can bend the world to your will, yet you find yourself in a paradox. Welcome to this episode of Switch On. The tech landscape is lush with entrepreneurs who reach success only after founders have modified or even abandoned their original vision. But wait, what about the idea that the best startups are driven by a clear vision and consistent values that generate success? Well, that's business. Hard and fast rules don't work often enough. You can't always just follow lists of best practices. Capturing new growth opportunities is fundamental to startup strategy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. But how can managers best meet this challenge with flexibility or focus? I feel very privileged having Jasna Mihelj Coustaury, GM European Operations at Plume, with me today to discuss this dilemma. Welcome, Jasna.
Good morning, Helena, and thank you for letting me be a part of your podcast. I'm very honored and I'm really excited to talk to you about different things.
Good to have you with us. Jasna, you have built your career in a technology and telco segment, always pushing the boundaries of possible. You're also a supporter of constant learning to gain confidence. So this way we can better address the challenges the life is throwing at us. Once you said we need to strive for the best. Repeat until we master it. Tell us more. What is motivating you and what is driving your ambition?
Okay, so my story, it's pretty interesting. I finished law school in Ljubljana, and before even finishing it, this was back, it was still Yugoslavia. And our legislation just allowed the startup companies, or actually private companies at that time. And with my colleagues, we said, okay, let's just establish one company and then maybe we will sell it because nobody will be able to do it, and so on and so on. Actually, I did it. And just by coincidence, the father of my schoolmate, he was in telecommunication. And one evening, we were discussing, and I said, why we don't start something together? You join us, and we'll help you with all paperwork and everything. And this is how it started. It was my first startup in 1990. And I was even not 24 years old without any experience about anything. I didn't have a clue about accounting, about export, import, anything, But I said, I will just try, it will be fun, it will be good, I will learn a lot, and I can proceed my career as a lawyer later on, And then when I started, and then of course you get first businesses, and the ball just started to roll, and there was no way back, So this was my word, and this is where I feel confident. Being in environment where you don't know what will happen today, what will happen tomorrow, not to think what will happen in 1 year, And what was pushing me was to learn and to meet new people, to get new opportunities, to learn from them, because I was always surrounded by very smart people, and still I am, and I'm learning from them every day. And I think this is the drive in my life, to work with people, to learn from them, and of course to do something good, something what it will be good for the society and what people will remember, like you mentioned I work now for Plume, and we are a bit pioneer in the Wi-Fi industry. And I believe that what we are doing will be changing the world. So I think this is what is driving me, and this is my goal in my life, actually, to do something good, to be with people, and to learn every day something new.
Brilliant. Jasna, over the last year, we often heard that companies need to adapt a startup mindset, a test, learn, adapt approach that allows greater flexibility that you're mentioning. And under existing uncertainty, this way empower the business to evolve through innovation. But being driven by ambition and having the confidence to act, even with limited resources, has its pluses and minuses, especially if you're driving and developing a new segment. And Plume is transforming the category, and I'm sure it's not easy. So let us start at the beginning. How is a startup environment different from working in a more traditional industry or working in an enterprise? What drives you?
Okay, so first of all, I had just once in my life opportunity work in a bigger traditional company where everything was set where we were doing our plans and the budget for the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. And what is different is that in startup, as I said, you don't know what will happen today. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, because adjusting, pivoting, this is something normal. On the other hand, in traditional company, I'm calling them traditional company, maybe this is not the right word, everything is set up. You have the procedures, that getting the approval to do this, to change something, it will take time. It will need to go through some levels. People will need to think. People will take time to do it. And I think these days, this cannot work like this, because the last experience, what we all had with COVID, we had to switch our lives. We had to switch our work environment from one day to the other. So I believe that even traditional companies, they don't exist anymore, because they cannot function. In this changing and challenging world, you need to adapt, whatever company you are, even if you are, I don't know, IBM, Microsoft, huge companies, or if you are a small startup as Plume is, So from one day to the other, you need to realize, you need to find a solution. How will you be able to do your business? This happened last March, Mm-hmm. And I believe that for these big companies, it was, of course, much more difficult at that time. But now the mindset of people have changed, and it needs to change, because I believe that, the situation like it is now, it will not be COVID maybe, but it will be something else. The world will be like this, challenging and changing every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a lot of energy, I must admit. For me, I cannot say that it was easier to work for this traditional company, because it was not for me. I wanted to change everything overnight, and it was hard to understand that it doesn't work like this, because of course it cannot work like this. But yeah, these are my thoughts. Yeah.
Changes are really happening so quickly, and I fully agree. How you have progressed through your career, you are maybe better equipped for this environment, but the rest, we are learning step by step. And I guess self-leadership that is so typical for such an environment, I actually see it as a paradox in itself. On one hand, we can talk about self-influence and how, as individuals, we motivate ourselves to complete the work that it's naturally motivating. And on the other, how people do the work that simply must be done to overcome the challenges, to gain traction and hit the significant milestones. And both depend on people. Where assembling a brilliant, driven team is crucial, then setting unreasonable expectations and then go. Would that be the right assumption?
Yes, definitely yes, but I think it's not enough, just putting great minds in one team will not make the company successful. I don't believe in this because for me, what is important and what I learned with Plume is that the leadership of the company has a big influence on the team, and on people working for this company. If the leadership has clear vision and they know how to explain to people, what is the vision, what is the goal of the company, for me, this is crucial. You need to believe in the leadership, in the people who are leading the company, and then everything gets easier. If you don't believe into this, you first of all, you will not be willing to do an extra mile, which today it's needed, to be actually the best. And secondly, you will lose your focus, you will lose your motivation, you will lose your innovation. And with these great minds, people, they say, okay, I don't like this company anymore, I will find something else. So company having its clear vision, goals, strategy, and where do we want to come and what do we want to achieve, I think for me this is crucial.
Mhm. I think it's interesting when you have been there from the inception, watching how your solution is being adopted more broadly, being shaped by customer conversations and opportunities appearing on the market that you're faced with. How do you manage to maintain and nourish this internal drive for innovation that you're mentioning?
As I said, I'm inspired by my colleagues. I'm inspired by their ideas and their willingness to do something more. I'm inspired by our CEO, who is a great visionary, very charismatic person, and when I listen to him, I just get an energy to do more and to do it differently and to do it better. And the team I'm working with, I think it's one of the greatest team I ever worked. People are from all over the world. They are all focused. They all want to do what is good for this company. And I must say that they don't need a push. Sometimes, of course, they need a motivation. They need an explanation. Why do we want to do it like we are doing now? But on the other hand, there is no need that somebody would pushing them and telling them, are you working enough? Are you doing this? What will you do tomorrow? It's just, they're all self-driven. And this is also the recipe why, in spite of these difficult times where, for example, my colleagues from US, they have not been in the office since last March, we are still successful. We managed to grow for more than 100%. We managed to grow more than 100%, not only in our income, with the number of employees, number of new customers, number of new projects and products we launched. It's just this, that we are driven by our goal and by our mission. So I think this is the recipe.
Mm-hmm. And bringing together these different stakeholders, having to build the proposition together instead of just presenting something new and shiny. This action, I suppose, is building consensus around the organization. And the two-way feed just keeps the solution adapting and evolving. And it shows how important the diversity of thought is. I do understand the self-motivation and self-engagement part, but nevertheless, how do you make each person tick? Is the purpose, the vision enough?
In our company, it's not always a sunny day, We have a lot of rainy days where we don't agree, where we fight, where we argue also very loudly. We have the meetings where people are pretty passionate about their ideas. Still, I believe having the strong vision and strong leadership, it's crucial. And of course, if the ideas of the leadership are coming true, and everything what we agree, what we promise, at the end of the day it happened, I think this is driving people, so they believe because what was promised was actually also then accomplished.
Passion is good, I think, and also it's the
Yeah.
variety of ideas that is being generated, because opportunities that are out there are more complex than actually people recognize. And capturing these new business opportunities means we need to select the opportunity first, or determine which customer problem we want to solve, and then execute against this opportunity by solving that particular problem. How do you decide which opportunity you want to follow? Or how do you balance between low-hanging fruit and taking advantage of this narrow window of the opportunity before that window closes, or before competitors capture that opportunity?
Yeah, this is our constant challenge, because there are a lot of opportunities, and of course, we cannot take all of them because we are too small company. And how do we decide? It's not always driven by money. So, even there is a contract with a big dollar amount, we don't decide to go to this opportunity, just by default. We always look what this opportunity can bring for us in the future. If taking this opportunity can bring more opportunities, following by more opportunities. If the opportunity is something what would bring us to be first in the market, we will for sure go to this one, taking this momentum where we can be the first one. I think this is the opportunity, we will go for it, and not necessarily the one who would bring us the biggest contract.
Growth in the smart home category is exploding, especially now with the massive surge of people working from home. But the quality of customer experience has fallen short. Putting the customer at the center, wanting to provide value in real life, finding the right solutions to existing problems makes your approach unique and eye-opening around possibilities. How is this notion shaping your operations, processes, collaboration, and keeping the team engaged?
So Plume is the first company I'm working for that we developed the team, which is called Customer Experience Testing Team. And it's really funny how we are doing this. Actually, we rented 2 houses where people are living and testing different devices in the real environment. Like, I don't know, watching Netflix, using Roomba to clean the apartment, playing the games, using the dishwasher, which is connected to our Wi-Fi system, and so on. And I think we try to put ourselves in the shoes of customer. So this is our main goal. It's not that in our perfect lab environment this will work and we are happy with this. This is not the case with Plume. We want to test it and see it and use it as our customer will be using it, and then do more and more improvements by our experience. So I think this is very crucial, and this is very maybe what Plume is doing different than other companies.
Well, living in a smart home and learning from experience. So actually,
yes,
learning to improve.
yeah. So actually, we are very envious to our colleagues because we are making fun of them that they are getting paid to watch Netflix and playing the games,
Yeah.
sitting on the couch.
A dream job.
A dream job.
Yeah, it's really a nice idea. I will think about it. So if you're looking for any new volunteers, let me know.
We are opening the third house, so you can join whenever you want.
That's great. When operating a startup, I would guess also tasks pile up fast, resources are limited, and every day is a challenge. You have this feeling you're always in a running mode, like you've mentioned before. And some say that consistency is key to moving forward and making progress. Without it, the business will get backlogged and crumble. In your case, being spread globally across many time zones, different cultures, how do you balance between achieving the right level of consistency yet keeping the flexibility needed to move forward to achieve your goal?
So to be honest, we still didn't find a recipe how to do it. I believe we are still more in this running and changing mode than consistency. Maybe it's also in our DNA, because we just want to keep going and going and not going and not stop, and maybe take a breath and maybe try to stabilize our environment, because we say there is no time, we will do it maybe in 2 months. But I believe that when you come to a certain stage of the company, you need to stop, you need to breathe, and you need to try to establish a bit of consistency, not just for your employees, for the work environment, but also for the working process itself. You need to stop and check and try to automate and try to improve some processes, which of course you cannot if you are in this constant running mode, because there is no time to automate, there is no time to write the process.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just in a phase, because we are now the size of the company where the processes needs to be written, the rules needs to be written, and I'm talking more about our internal rules and processes. It's not about the documentation about the product. This is not an issue. We have been taking care of this, but just how do we operate? What are the rules? The company book, when new employees are coming, what are our rules? What kind of behavior? What kind of challenges? What do we have in this company? So yeah, I believe when you come to a certain stage of the company, the consistency is needed.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say that it needs to be the ratio between running company and consistent company. It should be 50-50, but still the company needs to stop at certain stage.
Mm-hmm. It's always about finding the right balance at the stage where you are, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So when you're building a new category, setting new trends, creativity, innovation, disruption play a critical role, and without them, you simply can't offer something new. And driven by this progress, not perfection, means you keep your focus on the why, on the results, rather than the steps, or in other words, how to get there. But can you fully let go of perfection?
We try not to, because our CEO himself, he is a perfectionist. I watched how our product, our pots were designed, like the shape of them and the different functionalities. We looked at every small details about it. So we try to be really perfectionist. But of course, at certain stage, when you try to put as many products possible, because there is a big demand from the market, of course you can miss something, and sometimes you cannot be perfectionist. But as I said, the motto of our company is to do the products which are excellent and which are state of the art.
Mhm. An excellent point you're actually raising. I'm always amazed by the unbound level of optimism displayed in a startup environment, despite the million reasons why this extremely ambitious plan that you have could not work. And that optimism gives the team, in my view, an immense resilience to chase the goal despite the many obstacles in front of them. So I'm thinking that building connections with larger companies can be beneficial in a variety of ways. Discussing your technology with big players can help further validate your concept and can help you scale and bring your product to market. This type of relationship can also allow you to focus on the core competencies of your business while leveraging your partner's expertise in other areas to avoid reinventing the wheel. How does this collaboration help you scale your presence and offering to the market?
Yeah, so we are pretty lucky because our investors and our customers, they are huge telecom companies. From the day one, we work with them as partners. And of course, we are learning a lot from them, not just about their needs and what kind of product do they need, what do they miss, what it would make their life easier, what it would save a lot of operational costs, but also the way how do they operate, because we have the possibility to work with their development teams, and of course we can learn how the big development teams are operating. And I find this very beneficial for our company. And I completely agree, small startups cooperating with bigger companies, it can bring only good results. I would say cooperate, but not being merged too much into this, because as I said, working for a big company, of course, it requires a different mindset, a different way how you move, how quickly you move the things. It's not that the big companies, they don't want to move the things quickly, but simply they cannot. Mm-hmm. So cooperating, learning, and of course, I'm pretty sure they learn a lot about us as well, you know, about the way how we can change things quickly, how actually we can develop something pretty quickly, because of course our teams are small. Our brainstorming can be, I don't know, in 1 or 2 days, and then, you know, the third day we are already deep into that task, you know. So yeah, I completely agree with you, and I would support, of course, if the startup companies, they have possibility to work with bigger players, more established companies. This is a big benefit, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I fully agree, and actually on both sides. And perhaps one of the other outcomes would also be that these relationships with more mature companies bring also introduction to their investors. And this recently happened. Plume managed to raise $270 million sourced from global venture capital and private equity. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was for us far away, a long time ago, so we are already focused on some other things.
Yeah, I can imagine. But with that happening, you have also announced that you're actually entering a new era, that this means something new for your company moving forward. And what does actually mean in terms of focus, development, offering, approach to market to generate more revenue, to be more successful?
Yeah, of course, we got now enough funds to grow our company, to grow our teams, because as I said, our biggest challenge at this moment is how to finish and how to accomplish, or how to take all the opportunities, because our teams are too small, you know, our capacities are not for all of the projects we have, you know. So as I mentioned before, we we grew our team pretty significantly, and I think this is the key, how to get to the next level, by increasing the income, putting more products on the market, acquiring or being present with more customers in more markets, because in the past years, actually, we had to select with which customer we will be working, because of course we cannot work with everyone, because every customer, no matter of the size, they require the same attention, So yeah, we will be using this money just to grow the team, and of course to grow the company, our product portfolio, and our customer portfolio.
Mm-hmm. An important moment, sort of appreciation and confirmation that you're on the right way going forward. Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
Circling back to the beginning of our discussion, success does not come alone. There are expectations coming with it, some more, some less realistic. Challenges are everywhere. What would be the critical competencies you would wish to highlight, and what practices we need to embrace, adopt, so we become more flexible, more innovative? What we need to learn to be focused on the vision and the goal we want to achieve to accelerate growth?
First of all, I would say, you need to work a lot. What I experience from trying to recruit more people, especially maybe in Slovenia, is that people, and I would say young people, they are not willing to get a lot of energy into their career, because they maybe more respect private life, well-being, or whatever. And if you want to be successful, this doesn't work. The success doesn't come without, I would say, hard working. This is it's very simple. So you need to be hardworking, you need disciplined, you need to be, as I said, motivated. And if you have this, I think there is no need that you push for innovation, because people would be by themselves innovative. Of course, the whole environment, it needs to be open for new ideas. Like in our company, everyone can propose whatever they think it would be better. It's not that we will take all the ideas, but at least we will listen to people. So, but again, hardworking, commitment, also being open for strange ideas or different ideas. I think this is the key to success. I will just say again, it doesn't come overnight, and it doesn't come without hard working.
Wow, what a powerful conclusion. It was a pleasure to have this conversation with you, Jasna. Thank you so much for the guidance you have shared. You gave us a boost in optimism, told us how to envision the future and realize it, how to build on our resilience by not being afraid and making bold steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Helena. I was really happy to be part of your podcast. As I said, I would just repeat once again, if you want to be successful, first of all, you need to be passionate about what you are doing. Passion and the vision and what is your main goal, it's definitely what you need for success. Everything else will come. So just focus on this.
Fully agree. Could not say it better. Great to have you with us, Jasna.
Thank you.
We don't know what will happen today, nor what will happen tomorrow. Yet, we're very lucky to be able to learn from others, from their experience, because we all need to adapt, no matter how big or small our company is, as the world continues to change. I admire Jasna's commitment to being here to do something good, to leave a mark. She summarized it beautifully. If you're hardworking, committed, disciplined, and motivated, there's no need to push for innovation because the people will be innovative themselves. While as leaders, we need to secure an environment open to new ideas, accepting even those strange ones to reach success. This podcast is brought to you by Drop of Milk, an impact-driven business consultancy and expert on customer-focused digital transformation. You can learn more at dropofmilk.com.